Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a slightly different video than normal. I thought I would do the university tag, but I'd put a slightly different spin on it and do it on my first degree, which was medical science. So this was originally created by Alice Thorpe. I will link her video in the description box below. But I thought I would do my own version where I talk about my first degree before I started graduate entry medicine. So the first question is, where did you study? So I studied at the University of Birmingham. I was based in the medical school, which meant that I was able to make friends with people from loads of different courses. The second question was, what did you study? So I studied a Bachelor of Medical Science. It was a 3-year course, and at the end of it, all being well, come out with a Bachelor of Medical Science, and it's an honours degree. The third question says, what year are you in? And obviously I'm not in a year anymore because it was my first degree. So currently I'm in my first year of graduate entry medicine, which is obviously a different degree. Did I live at home or at uni? So for me, I would say that I lived at university. However, I was slightly different to most people in that I actually went home every weekend. I am really close to my mum, and given that I only lived about an hour away from home, it meant that I came home every weekend, and it was actually really lovely just to have somewhere else to go for a change of scenery, and obviously it was so nice to be able to see my mum every weekend. How old were you when you started the course? So I was 18 when I started medical science. I came straight after finishing my A-levels, and I finished when I was 21, so that was 3 years. What are your 3 uni essentials? So, for me, I think it varied from first year to third year, but I think generally my 3 university essentials are my laptop, a notebook where I write down notes from my lecture, and a pair of headphones. The headphones came in really useful for a variety of different reasons. It was good just to have some music playing when I was walking to and from university or when I was waiting at the train station. It was also really good if I was working in the medical school and there was no space in the library, so I would have to work in the common room, which was a little bit noisy, so my noise reduction headphones were amazing. What is your favourite meal to cook? So for me, my favourite meal to cook would probably have to be stir-fry chicken with egg noodles. I love this, it's so quick to cook, it's easy, and it tastes so yummy. So for me, stir-fry noodles. So the next question is, what was the latest that you were at the library? So for me, the latest I've probably been at the library until was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think I had coursework due not the next day but a couple of days after, and I really wanted to finish it in advance of the deadline so I could have a chance to go over it. So in order to keep myself motivated and warm, because my house was really cold at the time, I actually stayed in the medical school in the library until quite late at night. The next question says, have you ever done an all-nighter to finish your work? And I'm ashamed to admit that yes, I have. It was for a piece of coursework that was set around the same time as 2 other pieces of coursework, but we were unable to actually make a start on the coursework earlier because it was a lab practical write-up, and we were actually all waiting for our results to be processed and scanned into a computer, so we actually were only given the results to do the write-up 2 weeks before the deadline was due. And ordinarily that would have been fine, but because we had another deadline that was due in just under a week before that deadline was due in, it actually meant that quite a large proportion of the year ended up doing all-nighters. Luckily I finished it, and actually I got a really good grade on it, so I was really happy about that. What was your favourite moment in university? This question is really difficult for me to answer. This is going to sound really cheesy actually, but I think my graduation was the best moment for me of my time doing my medical science degree as a whole. It just marked such a significant event. We had made it through 3 years of this degree, which we had all worked so hard to finish and do well in, and to be able to wear our caps and our gowns and the hood and be given and to shake the Vice-Chancellor's hand. It was such an amazing day, and that was probably the best day of my university life. So the penultimate question is, what's your one piece of advice for a fresher? And for me, the one piece of advice that I would give a fresher would be to not worry about making friends. I lived in a studio flat on my own in my first year, so that was probably my biggest concern, especially in the first day or two after I had moved in, where I didn't know anyone from my course, I didn't know any other people in my block, and I felt quite nervous and a bit lonely at the same time because I honestly didn't know anybody. But obviously once you start going to lectures and meeting people, you will make friends, so please don't worry about it. Everybody else is in exactly the same position. Everybody is going to be nervous about making friends, and because of that, people try really hard to make friends. And in a way it can feel a little bit unnatural how nice everybody is to each other, but it means that you will make friends, so please don't worry about that. So the final question of the university tag is, what was something that you worried about for no reason? For me, apart from my point about making friends, the other thing that I worried about was actually, would I be able to cope with the notes and being able to just generally keep up at university? I had all these preconceptions in my brain about how difficult university is and how much work there's going to be and the all-nighters and how you're going to be up until 3 o'clock in the morning every day of the week. It's not true. It's really not true. I thought that it would be so much more work than it was. I'm not saying that it was easy. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it is manageable. They ease you in gently. They don't throw you in the deep end and give you 3 pieces of coursework to do at once in the first week. They ease you in. They explain to you how you should go about it. So you don't have to worry about the work. It's difficult and it is hard work, but at the end of the day it is manageable. So that marks the end of the university tag. Thank you again to Alice for creating this last year. And I hope you've enjoyed my spin on it, coming from somebody who's finished an undergraduate degree and who's now on to go and study graduate entry medicine. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you've liked this style of video that's a bit more informal, a bit more chatty, and make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!